Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans for Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. My name is Bill Soroka. I'm the founder of Notary Business Builder, an advanced notary mastermind community. Plus, I'm author of Sign and Thrive, How to Make Six Figures as a Mobile Notary and Loan Signing Agent. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I know Laura and I look forward to Tuesdays just for a chance to get to hang out with notaries from across the country. Laura Biewer, are you in the house yet? All right, and Laura is teaching live today for the National Notary Association in Modesto, I think, so she might be just a couple minutes late, and that's okay. I want to quickly introduce you to a fellow trainer out of Texas. So if you are in Texas, I wanted to introduce you to Saran Mayweathers. Saran has been making amazing progress with a new training program she does monthly. And in the spirit of collaboration, she brings in trainers from really all across the country. There's been trainers from Virginia. There's going to be trainers from Washington, California, and so many more participating. But this coming Saturday, August 13th, we're super excited because Jennifer Neitzel is going to be there, one of our own faculty members from Notary Business Builder, teaching with Norma Guzman. So Saran, I'll let you tell all about your training this Saturday and how people can get registered if they're in the area.
Well, thank you so kindly, Bill, for the opportunity. I greatly appreciate your support. Yes, we will be having the Texas Notary Public Loan Signing Training on this Saturday. Very excited. It will start at 8 a.m. between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. It will go from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. As I stated, we will have Norma Guzman Brooks from right here in Euless, Texas. She will dive in speaking on loan signing documents, what that purchase loan document look like, taking us through page by page, just giving us some very good beneficial information. Then we will also have Miss Jennifer Neitzel. She will come in speaking on the power and importance of networking. How important is that, Bill? We know how important that is, right? Yeah. And then as a notary public in the industry for many, many years since the 90s, myself out of the state of Florida, moved to Texas in 2017. I will present on the Texas state laws and standards, what that look like for the notary public in the Texas area. And so looking forward to Saturday with, so many industry leaders that have crossed our paths and so many opportunities available for the notaries here in the state of Texas. I'm so looking forward to having Jennifer and Norma. This is going to be a great time and just very excited and looking forward to it, Bill. Everyone can go on Eventbrite and register. You can Google also Add Your Service Agent LLC. You are able to find both sites on both sites, the platform for Eventbrite, where you can actually purchase your tickets and go ahead and register for Saturday's event. Thank you so kindly, Bill. I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure, Saran. Congratulations on gaining such steam so quickly and having such a great reputation with your trainings in Texas. I know if you're in the Texas area and you're looking for fresh perspective, this is the type of training you might be looking for. I have posted the link to book those in the chat as well. Saran, I know you have to get to an appointment, so thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, Bill. Thank you so kindly.
All right, thank you, Saran. And that is notary life, right? When the phone rings, you just never know where your schedule might take you. Laura, I see that you're here. Thank you so much. Would you like to take a minute just to introduce yourself today?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Laura, if anybody doesn't know, and I'm founder of Coach Me Laura, as well as the Notary Symposium and co-founder for Notary Business Builder. And great to be here today. I'm teaching today, and this is a lunch break, so I'll get off just a little early at the end. But in the meantime, I'm here for you. Thanks, Bill.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. So glad that you were able to make it. All right, so guys, this is Tuesday Notary Titans. It's a time for you to get your questions, challenges presented, or questions answered, your challenges presented by two experts who are down in the ditches with you working this business. Both Laura and I are still full-time mobile notaries and loan signing agents, plus also instructors and coaches as well. So the way this works is it's like an old-fashioned call-in radio show, except that we're on Zoom. And we love it when your cameras are on. So thank you to everybody who can have their camera on, to have that on. It makes the conversation flow so much easier, but we also totally understand if you can't. No stress, no worries. Use the raise hand feature in your Zoom app. That could be, depending on your device and the version that you have, that could be pretty much anywhere. Most likely it's in the reactions button. If you hit reactions, there should be a bar that says raise hand, raise your hand. When we call on you, tell us what state you're in, give us a brief sentence or two on context, and jump right into your question. That way we can get as many questions answered as possible today, and then you can mute yourself out, and Laura and I will give you an answer, share some perspective, or ask you more questions. All
Bill,
right.
Bill,
Yes.
before we go on, could I just add, if we could and ask the most burning question that you have, and not pile up 4 or 5, so that we could move along. I'm happy for you guys to come back around if we have enough time, but if we do 3 or 4 for each person, then we won't get to everybody. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, it looks like we're going to get a slow start anyway, Laura.
That's all right.
That's all right. Who has the courage? Valerie, I'm sorry, I muted you. Was your hand up as well? Did you have a question for us? You want to kick us off? Maybe not. All right. Who has the first one?
Well,
There's
there
Dan.
we go.
Yep. Hey, Dan. Finding the mute button or unmute button. We can't hear you. There you go.
If nobody's gonna go, I guess I'll go. My question is probably for Laura, but I just had to do my first signing by proxy, and I think I did it okay, but I need to know what the logistics are of a proxy signature. The gentleman is recovering from a stroke. He can't really grip his pencil, so he's asked his wife to sign for him as proxy. Now she signs his name, and then I want to be sure I'm documenting it correctly. So can you walk me through that?
Well, you know, Daniel, I'd have to have your handbook in front of me to walk you through it accurately. Not something I keep, because very few states have that procedure and mine doesn't. But what I would tell you is that there's likely they're going to, she's going to sign his name by her name as proxy. And then there's probably something that the notary has to write underneath that quotes the code that allows for proxy. That's typically
is that in the document or in the certificate?
On the document. I mean, yeah, on the document underneath the signature. Typically, the notary writes per code, blah 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 blah, whatever that phrase is. So that would be the only thing that you might want to check to see if you're required to put that as the notary.
All right. Well, I know there's an article in the NNA bulletin about it, and I'm trying to leverage that as well as what I can find in my state handbook. There's not a lot there. It's just that you can't, it just says you can do it. So,
well, yeah, Oregon does say you can do it. And there is a description, because I've done real world for Oregon. And I recall that there is something there. I just don't recall exactly what it says without looking it up.
Very well. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, Dan. Great question. All right, Steve-O, great to see you back. Tell everybody what state you're in and how we can help.
Hey, how's it going? I'm from Pennsylvania. So I guess the burning question or whatever would be, how long after, when you're marketing from these places, like specifically nursing homes in my area, like I've pretty much gone to every single one in the neighboring cities, anywhere within 30 minutes of my area. How soon after do you send out that first email, or do you remind them who you are, your business, and how often are you marketing to them? Because I'm seeing some leads from I've probably been to, I think about 65 facilities, and I'm seeing leads from just about 4 of them. So I know those social workers actually remember me. I had a good conversation with them, but you know what I mean? I'm trying to keep pushing that so I can get more leads. but I didn't want to be annoying and reach out too soon and be like, hey, do you need more business cards? Or I guess I'm just trying to another possible way. Whatever your thoughts are.
Yeah, I love this. Laura, I'm gonna bat it over to you for right now, and then I'll jump in with some of the things I've done.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be concerned because they're probably not going to call you till they have a need. They're not going to be reaching out to you to say, oh yeah, thanks for coming by. So I wouldn't be concerned just because they haven't reached out to you that they don't have your cards or aren't aware of you. To follow up, I would say not more than monthly would be, for me, I wouldn't be annoyed if I got something from somebody once a month. Weekly, it would bug me. It would be like, I have other business here to take care of besides helping people get notarization. So I would say that, and you might try different forms. So one time it's an email, another time maybe it's a snail mail letter or postcard. Another time maybe it's a in-person visit, but try different forms rather than the same format every time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also, Steve, did you, when you reached out to them, did you offer them anything other than your business card?
Well, I mean, by the time I felt more comfortable, but I would immediately go in. I was actually calling before I went in. I'd go to the business, I'd call and introduce myself before I walked into the building, and they appreciated that. And then they were more likely to come out and take my business card and ask me what the work was. And everybody thought it was a good idea, at least in my area. Everywhere you go to, they say they'd never heard of a mobile notary. But
all right,
I guess,
but my question to you was, did you offer them something other than your business card? Bring them anything besides?
no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No,
That's where
it
I'm
was
trying
just,
to get to.
yes,
All right,
I got
so
to, yes.
another idea would be to bring them something that could be useful. So on my website, under resources, there is a one-page summary of 5 steps to notarization to help them have something in their hands, and you would brand it. Right now, I don't have it branded. I'm letting everybody use it. And you would brand it and put your phone number on it, and on it would let them know what the requirements are so that you don't get called for notarization only to find out it cannot be performed because they didn't tell the patient that, oh, you got to have your valid ID. The hospital band doesn't work. Oh, the document, you need that already. They're not bringing it. And they're not going to, you don't need to wait for them to get there to complete it. These are misconceptions and myths that are communicated usually from hospital staff to patients about what we do and what we don't do. So it would be a really helpful thing to have a guide that's one page, laminated. They can post it on the cork board. They can keep it on their clipboard. It would be of value and it would have your name right on it. Anyways, just a suggestion, maybe on one of your follow-ups, since you didn't do it up front, then you could use that as one of your follow-ups. Hey, I know that you get asked questions about notarization. You're not the notary. This guide might help you. So there you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, Laura, and that that's the big one that I was going to suggest, Steve-O, too, is find additional ways to bring value to that relationship. And what we're really looking for, no matter what, we're almost like for me, I used to just be looking for an excuse to reach out. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm a great notary and I can help you. I'm a great notary, I can help you. I have $100,000 E&O insurance policy. You don't want to, it just sounds like everybody else when you do that. And it sounded really salesy for me. And it made me uncomfortable. So I found other ways to bring value to the relationship. And what Laura just suggested, I love that. And guys, I put the link in the chat, but you can download that form from Laura's website. It's coachmelaura.com on her resources page. Just type in your email address and you get that. And then you can brand it. You can beautify it on Canva. You can put your logo on it, your name, your phone number. You could put, if you had 5 other notaries that you're working with in the area, you could put all of their contact information. That even brings more value to the facility because they're not just reliant and they're not recommending just one person. They're recommending 5. Like, hey, here's 5 people you could possibly call. There's ways to really blow that out. The other one is that I love hearing about, and I tried this too in the nursing home that my grandmother was in, is a free notarization day once a month. This is a way I could bring value. I could just sit in their lobby for 3 hours, one day a month to give back to their community. They can bring documents to notarize. And what that ended up doing, even though it was started out just like, here, let me help you out, it ended up being, I got to meet all the staff. Everybody would call because when they need a notary, they need a notary. They don't, sometimes they can't wait till the free Saturday that of the next month, you know, they call and do that. So that's one way to have another conversation. Another big one is to make sure that you're in the orbit of these facilities, right? They have marketing teams that are pretty good at social media these days. So make sure you're following their social media. And when they're doing an open house, you can show up to the open house, or in your network, you might have somebody who's aging into one of those places. That would be a great way to invite them, join them. They often have their best meals on those open house days. So you can get in and just, again, it's one more kernel of the relationship that you can cultivate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet, Steve-O. And well done. 65 facilities is
A lot of footwork.
a lot of work. Yeah. All right. Let's do a real quick announcement because we're about a quarter after. Laura, you want to talk about Georgia?
Yeah, let me talk about Georgia because Georgia's on my mind. Here's what's happening. Real World is going to Georgia this Saturday, the 13th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be, as usual, going over what the rules of the road look like for Georgia specifically. So this is really for Georgia notaries, not for other state notaries. And it'll be not only the opportunity to go over those rules of the road, but then apply them by utilizing common everyday documents that we're asked to notarize all the time. It could be deeds, powers of attorney, healthcare directive, permission to travel for a minor, passport request. These are things we're asked for in the general world frequently. And we're going to then practice, what do I need to know about this document? What isn't my business? Where's my certificate? What does that mean for me? Is that an act in my state? If it's not, what do I do about that? If it is, can I fill it out? This is the kind of work that we're doing. It's about 2 hours and, you know, pretty much unlimited. Whatever questions you have for me, I'll be prepared to answer them all because I've got your statutes and handbook right there in front of me. All right. So if you're interested, go to Coach Me Laura. Actually, yeah, coachmelora.com /GA for Georgia.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And those tickets will be available until Friday night, guys. So, and it's very limited seating. So if you're in Georgia and you're interested, definitely book that right away. All right, let's actually, Melissa, I wanted to bump over to you because I saw your comment that you have something to tack on to Steve-O. So let's continue that conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Have missed you guys. So kind of seems like every Tuesday I'm tied up with something, but I caught part of one of our meetings 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think it was Lisa Duffy that had posed a question. And I think we were talking about like hybrid closings and IPENs and so forth. And she was asking about additional, you know, marketing for notaries in that field, I guess. And I forget exactly what it was, but anyways, Laura, you came back and said that without the notarization piece that, you know, there wasn't necessarily a need for a notary. And kind of at the time, it seemed like a silly question, but with Steve-O trying to work in nursing homes and so forth, I had kind of come up with an idea. It may not be an original idea, but I started kind of marketing, I guess, technology support, because with not necessarily signings requiring notaries, but with like DocuSign, you know, just electronic signing type situations, a lot of senior citizens either don't have access to, or they don't know how to use some of our devices. So what I started promoting was just basically like technology assistance. And if you have a signer, you know, whether it's in a nursing home or wherever, and they need to sign DocuSign or, you know, other electronic documents, you can charge a travel fee, and I was still kind of toying with fees, but I was saying like $20 and an hour minimum. And so but anyways, but you could take a laptop, you could take an iPad, you could take something, and at least provide some technology assistance, and still maybe have a way to assist elderly people, and also get your foot in the door at some of these nursing homes and other facilities.
Melissa, you just delivered a huge golden nugget. You guys, this is part of the value. Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate that. Part of the value that we bring to the marketplace is sure our notary skills, our stamp, that need for the legalization, but the other part is that we are credentialed professionals. There is this perspective that we are of professional caliber, that we know how to handle ourselves with documents, that we know that we have a criminal background check, which most of us do if we are, some states require it to be a notary, but as a loan signing agent or a certified loan signing agent through the National Notary Association, you probably have a criminal background check or a background screening. That's valuable to the marketplace. And there are organizations, just even individuals, that need that technology support. Todd Osherman, the CEO of Notary, he talks about this a lot, because part of the challenge they have, the reason that technology hasn't been adopted by the reverse mortgage industry, is there's a Grand Canyon in that demographic for technology. And if somebody could just show up with an iPad and guide them through how to click through the next page, that can change everything. It can get them connected to the internet. Even for the remote online notarization piece, there's technology people who can just set that up and help facilitate those types of things. That's huge. Do we have some background? There we go. All right, that was awesome. Thank you guys so much for sparking that conversation. Terry Young, thanks for being here. Tell everybody what state you're in and how we can help.
I'm in Colorado, and I ran into something on Friday that I wanted to share. I had a late afternoon, early evening signing. So it wrapped up after the last pickup for my local area. And it was a FedEx package shipping label. And I started looking for the FedEx store on Saturday morning to drop it off. And the two in my area were both closed, which is a change. And so I went out and looked at their website. They no longer have a Saturday pickup, so they've closed the stores on Saturday. And I'm guessing title companies don't know that yet. And I don't know how widespread it is, but just something to be aware of.
Yeah, that's really good advice, Terry. Thank you so much. I think I've noticed there's some, due to labor availability is really one of the big challenges some of these places have. So I've noticed a shift in hours. It is really helpful. That's a way that you can bring value to your relationship, is if you know that kind of stuff, Terry. So now when you get those Friday appointments, or even a Saturday morning appointment, you can advise the hiring company of what that situation is and set the expectations from the beginning.
I did both the lender and the signing service to let them know that I
Awesome.
couldn't drop it off for a Monday delivery.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Terry, thanks for letting us know. That's great advice. Larry, thank you. Good to see you. Tell everybody where you're at and how we can help. Oh, we can't hear you. Uh-oh. Got a mic situation. I think you just have to choose your right microphone. Little arrow next to the mic in the lower left-hand corner. Still can't hear you. Larry, I'm going to come back to you, okay? Phil Shannon, are you here?
I think he's teaching some kind of class or speaking.
All right. Next, Randy Venters in Washington. How's it going?
Good, Bill. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
So a follow up from our call from NBB last week. But I would like to get your take on this part of it, and then Laura's take. So a local title company that I love working with, but I was getting assignments. They only work with signing services, and I was getting assignments for them through two signing services, and they actually use 3 signing services. But they've cut all of those off, and now they're going direct through SnapDocs. I have found out that I am a preferred notary for them. So as soon as I accept the job, I automatically get it
Nice.
within a few seconds, which is really great and awesome. But I've noticed last week and this week, they're fluctuating their prices, and they're trying to figure out what the price needs to be to pay. Is there a way that I can help guide them to what I think their prices should be? Because like sometimes they're paying $80 for a seller's package, sometimes they're paying $100, and it's a range in between. Sometimes they're paying $50 for a seller's package, sometimes they're paying $80.
Interesting. Laura, do you have any perspective on that?
I don't use SnapDocs. You know what? I feel there's a big separation because we're contractors with guiding them what the prices should be. I tell them what my price is. And so if I was doing SnapDocs, I would be accepting the higher price jobs and not accepting the other ones and countering for what the prices I think it should be. I mean, that's feedback right there that this price is not right, but I'll do it at this price. But I don't really have any other feedback on that because I do direct with the person who's hiring me. And the first thing I do is say, okay, I tell them the scope of the job. This is what you're asking for. Here's my fee.
So
And
can I interject in that for a second?
Hey, Kim.
Can I interject? Yeah. So on SnapDocs, depending on your title company that you're working with, they will go through, for instance, Old Republic Title and First American Title go through SnapDocs here in my area. And so what's happening is that they had set fees for the seller and the buyer's packages. Now they're accepting in-office signings, and the in-office signings are less money. So for instance, the $130 that I normally get for a seller package is now $70 for in-office. The $150 buyer is now $105 or $115, depending on which company you work for. So that might be the differential. The other one is that if it's a different, it's called an out-of-town buyer or borrower, so it's a FATCO or ORT or one of the other ones out of town, they may be less also. So that might be your differential between that $50 and $80 or the $80 and $100.
Cammie, can you tell the difference? Can you tell?
Yes, you can when you accept the job, because what will happen is the signing location will be the office location of that title company. Otherwise, it's the signing location of, say, their home or business, whatever that might be.
But can you tell before you say yes?
No,
Okay,
unfortunately. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, my people call me directly, so they'll tell me it's in office or it's not, so I know what to expect. But if it goes out and they're not doing that, that's what's going to happen. The only thing that you can do after that is then let them know that, normally it's $100, that this is whatever, I can't accept this. You take that chance when you do that, once you accept an assignment and then you say no.
All right, thank you, Cammie. Appreciate that. And then also I saw a comment from Matt too, that sometimes there might be like automatic pricing. A lot of the, some of the technology might be doing that too, an automatic algorithm where SnapDocs, based on all of their consolidated data, might be suggesting those prices to the hiring company too. So Randy, in that regard, I think what Laura mentioned this is you can turn it down and tell them this is what my fee is to do that job. No, because the fee's too low or whatever it might be. And you can also have a conversation with the contacts that you have there, the ones that you have that kind of relationship with. You can just check in with them and say, here's what I'm seeing. Is this what you're intending? Because a lot of times they don't know what's going on the receiving end. They don't know how much you're getting paid. They don't know how the technology works. They're just inputting it on their end and something else is happening.
All right, thank you. Yeah, my plan was to try to pop in sometime this week and talk to the 2 people I know that do the scheduling and ask them if they're inputting a price or how they're coming up with that price.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Let us know how that goes, Randy. All right, guys, another announcement here real quick. This coming up this Friday. For anybody who is venturing into the wedding officiant side of things, my friend, colleague, collaborator, Mark Allen Grollo, he is the founder of Unboring Wedding and the Unboring Wedding Officiant Academy, or the Unboring Academy. He is going to deliver a training on the top 3 ways that wedding officiants can keep themselves booked, fully booked. That is this Friday. It's completely free. We just want to help you, whatever avenues you're taking to generate revenue right now. We want to make sure you're fully supported in that. And that event is on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I have the registration link in the chat for you. You can just go to notarycoach.com/officiant event. All right, Phil, are you ready for us? Phil Shannon. Steve-O, welcome back.
Hey, thanks again. My second question would be just for if either of you, I know right now you might be like further in your careers or business, but when you were starting out, or even now, but like, is there, do you guys keep like a spreadsheet or a calendar to track for marketing purposes, like certain times of year? Like, is right now in August a good time to be pushing your exam proctoring services out to colleges? Is, you know what I mean? Because school starts in a month. Is there a time in July that you should be pushing something? You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know if you guys had a general rule of thumb that you found for different types of niches or different things to market to throughout the year.
Yeah, great question. Laura, have you ever been that organized?
I've never done that ever. I've just worked on building relationships and having them know I'm available at any time of year for whatever the purpose is. So I've not, and I've not advertised in that fashion. So yeah, no, I've never done it.
I have never been that organized until much later, and I hesitate to even call myself organized right now, even though I've gotten a lot better. I'm usually, the idea, the inspiration hits, and I'll just take something and run with it when it happens. Now, what you just described, proctoring exams and working with schools at the beginning of the year, that kind of makes sense, right? So if that was a service that I would offer, I might do that.
Right.
However, like Laura said, what I have learned, and over and over and over again, I like to learn things the hard way, is that business is based on the relationships, and relationships don't get a schedule of advertising. So it's never a bad time to cultivate a relationship. There are going to be times when your services are more in demand than others, but you can be cultivating relationships 7 days a week. There's no rules on that. So I don't know if you just work to stay in touch and you communicate the value that you bring, whether that's going to be in social media, emails, pop-ins, whatever you choose to do to fit your personality, I think you can cultivate anything. But my business, when I was going full steam, just by, before the books, before the courses, before everything, it was legal pads. I had legal pads to try to remind me of things. I was technology adverse. I didn't want, if it's in my phone, I forget about it, right? So I had to have legal pads out on the desk to remind me of that stuff. And that's just how I did it until it became a habit, and it was kind of more second nature kind of thing.
Thank you.
I just want to add, Matt made a comment, and it's very much like what Steve said, and that is that there are certain things that do happen seasonally, such as consent letters for minors because they're going out of the country in the summertime. It could be tax time. So there are some times when there's more need than other times. But if you haven't built a relationship, you're just another ad coming across their desk, their screen, and it doesn't really mean a whole lot.
That is so true. Think about it. The election years always really accentuate this for me, right? I never hear from my representatives ever until it's election time. And then my mailbox is stuffed full of them. They only reach out and connect with me when they want something from me. And that's a real turnoff, right? And sometimes there's advertisers that do that too. And that's why I think it's so important. to adopt that evergreen approach to cultivating your relationships. Do it all the time. And then when they need you, they know where to find you. All right, Phil Shannon, are you ready for us yet? I see all kinds of shadows moving in there. I don't know what he's up to. Melissa Garner, welcome back.
I had one other last quick question. Has anybody heard of and or worked with an organization called The Fund? It looks like they do a lot of remote online signings. Seems to be a pretty prestigious group. It looks like it does a lot direct business with like attorneys, title companies, and so forth. They have a vendor marketplace page, which it's a process to get on there. They do some vetting for that, and I got accepted, but the membership fee is a little bit high. But with everything that I'm seeing, and like I said, kind of the prestigiousness or the appearance of that, for me, looks like it might be worth it. But I was just curious if anybody else had had any experience with them.
That is a great question. I'm going to kind of open that up to the chat forum. Amy, did you have some experience with that? Oh, perfect. I love it when Amy's on the call.
Yeah, you made me get on here and I'm like a hot mess today, but I won't talk with my video off. I feel that's unprofessional for myself. So you get the hot mess. I've worked with the fund a few times. They are not my favorite place to work with. They are very, very picky when it comes to RON service providers, as well as the ID proofing credentials used. For instance, some states can use biometrics. They won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. They will literally cancel everything and go a different route. I don't know what state you're out of, so I don't know if that's something you're allowed to do or not.
Florida.
Okay, so yeah, so you would have to do KBA, and it doesn't matter if they are a foreign, because they're not going to get KBA, and they won't allow you to use biometrics, and you're not allowed to use credible witness on RON. So it really limits you with those kind of transactions. So it's a lot of hoops. It's a lot of education. I know Christine Pardo and I have went back and forth with them to educate them on the proper way that you can ID proof that's legal, that would help them, but they don't want to hear it. So they're interesting.
Would you say, Amy, that they do, I mean, aside from being particular and maybe being a little headstrong in their policies, do you find that they have integrity and they're reputable? And would it be, in your opinion, would it be worth an investment to be part of that network?
I don't see a whole lot of them from them, mainly because they won't. They prefer this very small list of platforms. So you would have to make sure you're on their list of approved platforms. They only come to me for the random ones where they have to use credible witness outside of their state. So I only see the really weird sessions. I don't have any other issues with them other than the fact that they won't listen to reason. But it's just one of those, other than that, they're just like any other title. I don't know that I would pay to be a part of their elite team, only because I get the work from them through signing services. So I don't see why they're charging you if they're going to go and send it out through a signing service that's free. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just had wondered if it would be worthwhile, just because of what I was seeing as far as who all was on there and whatnot. And again, the vetting process was, providing references and so forth. And so yeah, I've been still toying with it, but.
And you know what, being on the list, you might get more work from them. Like I said, I only get the oddballs, the really the ones out of left field. So, but I never vetted, I never applied. I literally get them through signing order.
Gotcha.
So
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. Great question, Melissa. Thank you. Phil Shannon, are you ready for us yet? Maybe not. All right.
I think so. But can I do another announcement, Bill? Because I still have 2 to go.
Yeah, I was going to bring, well, yeah, absolutely. Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. Okay, so I'll do one. The next announcement is about Symposium. And Symposium, of course, is coming up in November. And some of you I know are like, yeah, I'm going. I've got it. I'm going to do that. I just haven't gotten around to getting my ticket. And I want you to know that fortune favors those who make bold decisions and take action. So to help you to that end, I have put out a bonus for anybody who decides they're going to go ahead and buy their ticket by August 15th. We are going to be giving away a Raven scanner. And so the only people who can participate in that opportunity are those who have bought a ticket already before today up to the 15th. And nobody else gets a shot at that. So if that's something you were considering and you just needed something to help you get going, there you go.
Yeah, and you can visit notarysymposium.com to get those tickets. I posted a link in the chat. Awesome, Ev. Ev just bought her ticket yesterday.
I saw that.
Guys, if you haven't tried that Raven scanner yet, I'm forgetting all about my brother's scanner. Like, I don't even have it anymore. Like, I got rid of it that fast after I tested my Raven scanner 2 days ago. It's super. I mean, the screen is just huge, so I don't even have to wear my glasses to see it. Yeah. And it's so fast. I'm super impressed. So I'm really excited about what they're bringing to our industry as well. And guys, yeah, Mary, did you see that? Hal Elrod is the keynote speaker at Symposium this week. That's the guy who wrote The Miracle Morning. Absolutely changed my life. In fact, I measure my life as before Miracle Morning and after. After is when I started getting amazing results in my life. So if you'd like to join and learn from the best, definitely go to notarysymposium.com and book those tickets. Phil Shannon, it kind of looks like you might be ready for us.
I am so sorry if you guys called on me. I apologize. I'm at a large school district in Laura's area. I'm in Denair, Laura, so not too far away from you. But today, because they're going to be breaking at 1 o'clock, I'm going to move my presentation to about 1:30. So I apologize for those who like to come directly after TNT, but at 1:30 I will be doing a presentation. So look forward to teaching you, showing you how you can protect and grow your business. So thanks, Laura. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate the time. Have a great rest of your day and hope to see most of you or some of you after 1:30. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. And I am posting that link here. There's a Zoom link at the bottom of the TNT replay page at notarycoach.com/TNT. Every week you can join Phil there. Tony Henry from Georgia. Thank you so much for your patience. You want to unmute? We know you're in Georgia. How can we help?
Yes. Hello, Bill, Laura, and hello, everybody on the chat. My question is dealing with witness signature. A signing agent requested for me to go with him and be a witness signature. And my question is, should I be verifying the ID as well as the signer?
So your question, if you're going to
acting as a document witness or as a notary?
A document witness.
So there many times there are some instructions or qualifications about document witnesses that are on the document. And so I would ask if there are any qualifications. Sometimes the qualification is you must know the signer or verify them through an ID. So I would be looking for that.
Okay, so I either have to know, you're saying I either have to know the signer or I have to verify his ID.
What I'm saying is not every time. I'm saying that look for instructions or ask for qualifications from the notary or the signers, if there are any, for document witnesses. Sometimes they'll say document witnesses cannot be family. Sometimes it'll say document witnesses have to be 18. Sometimes it says document witnesses need to know the signer. There can be a lot of different qualifications depending on the document type. So that's why when I act as a document witness, I ask, is there anything indicating qualifications or instructions about document witnesses?
Okay, and my second question is, if there is a lawsuit, say against the notary public, against the notary, the signing agent, am I liable as well?
Well, that's a legal question, and I can't tell you if you are or you aren't. Your responsibility is to sign as a document witness and be qualified as that witness if there were qualifications. And if you did that, there's nothing more for you to concern yourself with.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great questions, Tony. Thanks for being here. Melissa, how's it going, Melissa?
Oh, yeah, you can open it. I'll go back.
I know you're in
Hi.
California.
Hi, thank you. Bill, I just been thinking about you, so I'm gonna ask, how's your move and how do you like Washington?
Thank you so much. It is a beautiful state and the weather is spectacular. It's like half the temperature of Phoenix. So I'm very happy. Thank you for that. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ev, thanks for being here. I know you're in California too.
I am in California. This is more of a warning to notaries. I'll make it really quick. I got a email yesterday, I guess, asking if I would do a loan signing. First hint, in my county. It didn't say where I was. And what was my availability and fee. Sent it off. Shouldn't have done that, but I did. Call first. Got response today from a Pamela Schoenstein or something. Doesn't matter. It's all scam. I called it and sent the documents. They were unable to upload them. Here's a link to get them. I hit the link and my Norton went, don't do that. And I did it. I bypassed Norton. Stupid. But everything's fine. Norton didn't let me go in, but be careful. I ended up calling the law firm and they said, it's scam, don't hit it. Be careful. Be careful.
Look at that, Ev, you're not alone. Look how many people said they got that email today.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that and giving everybody a heads up. They're getting sneakier and sneakier. I have found that oftentimes the email address was the one that would give it away, right? It would come through as Gmail or
It was
Yahoo
Hotmail.
or something.
It was
Hotmail,
Hotmail.com,
yeah. Yeah. All right, excellent. Thank you for that heads up, Ev. Steve-O, welcome back. Take advantage of this.
Yeah, I mean, if nobody's gonna ask anything.
Yeah.
And I think you guys kind of answered this question, but my last question was, do you think, what I had wrote down, do you think full-time income is, if you're able to reach that with just specialty work? Because I'm trying to pull away from loan signings and just work specifically with specialty work, but I'm guessing but if I had to guess, you guys would say it's more about cultivating relationships and also like, how many lawyers have you reached out to? How many people have you continued with? And like, I was just, like I said, focusing on the nursing facilities and long-term care, but I'm getting a part of my income from that. A part of it is from the field inspection work, but I'm seeing like last Tuesday, you guys were talking about reaching out to estate attorneys. And I think I'm seeing like specialty work is probably, if you were going to try to just do that full time, it's more of a combination of all the different ones, different maybe kind of routes and things like that. If you wanted to just survive off that.
Steve, I think that's a really great question. I think both Laura and I have some perspective to share on this. Keep this in mind. No matter what, it's going to come down to two things: people and technology. It's going to come down to the relationships you cultivate and then the Google business profile. If there's anybody on this call that does not have their Google business profile, you are leaving business on the table. You have got to have that done. It's free. Set it up. I know the technology's intimidating sometimes, but just Google business profile and let Google walk you through the steps to set that up. And then get with somebody like Jim Allen, the marketing notary. He has one more class coming up in August to help you optimize that. You can go to notarycoach.com/courses and book that last class he has in August and optimize that. Just get the help you need, because you're going to need that. And then I love that you're even thinking about this, Steve. So getting back to your question, yes, I know, because of the students that I coach, I know from my own experience right now, like right before I moved up here to Washington, I was cultivating relationships with estate planning attorneys. Why did I choose estate planning attorneys? Because that gives me a little more flexibility with Arizona, because I can present documents. I can pretty much do what I do in loan signing in an environment where I don't have to print paperwork rarely. I get to briefly describe the documents. I can drop off, pick up at attorneys' offices. They see value in everything that I can add to it, which means I can charge a higher fee. I'm not reliant on my state required notary stamp fee, right? Because there's other services that are bundled in there. And that is, in Arizona, I was able to get exceptional fees for that. And if part-time or full-time income is somewhere between 200 and 400 or even up to $1,000 a day, then yes, you can absolutely do that with estate planning. But it comes down to those two things: cultivating relationships, demonstrating the value. Sometimes you have to connect the dots, especially for attorneys. They're almost like doctors, right? They go through so much school, their blinders are on, they know law, but they know kind of where they want to go and what life they want to build for themselves, but they need some help connecting the dots. And these virtual law firms are really hot right now. So I'm just helping them connect the dots. If they want to be on the beach, then they need someone like me that can be boots on the ground to help them accomplish their goals. And that's actually going pretty well. Laura, what else do you have to say on that? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm in a hotel area, so sometimes it gets noisy. I think you said almost all of it. Absolutely. Many of you know that loan signings, although it's one of my specialties, it's not what I rely on at all. I just cherry pick those that happen to come my way. I don't market for that. And so most of my notary income is specialty work. And I don't mean pick one specialty and that's it. Right? There are dozens of them out there. I probably actively pursue about a half a dozen different specialties that pretty much fills my plate. So yes, you can make 6 figures on specialty, but not one specialty. You need to be open to more than that.
I think that's when I was confusing myself at the beginning with just hitting the nursing homes and waiting for power of attorneys. And then, you know what I mean? But yeah, I understand. Thank you both very much.
If you enjoy, oh, that's the other side of this too, is the rewarding factor, right? Like loan signings, I actually love because my clients are usually new home construction, and I love the energy around those appointments. Although it's been kind of rough the last year with the delays and everything, right? But with estate planning, when you're doing a living trust and people are getting their affairs in order, that could be a rough time, but for the most part, these are people who are like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting to do this for 20 years. I'm so relieved. I've been putting this off. They're getting peace of mind. And to be a part of that is a gift. And I love that environment. The attorneys love it, the people love it, and I love being a part of it. So it's good synergy that way. And it can also be lucrative. All right. Laura, you have one more announcement. You want to unmute though? You're so good. She's a muter.
Okay, so I have one more announcement and then I'm going to go because I have to start teaching the second half of the class today.
Yeah.
And that announcement is, I know that there are NBB or Notary Business Builder people on this call today, and maybe some of you did not attend yesterday's orientation call. My specialty call is this Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And I will be talking about pricing strategies because that also plays into what specialties you do, what the mix is, and how you establish your fees, because it's just not like one flat fee for everything. So you need to understand how that works and how that works within your state, because your strategy is going to be different if you're in a state that says you only get mileage than if you're in a state that says do what you want. So if you're an MBB member, you happen to be on this call today, just know that we're going to have a really great conversation regarding pricing strategies on Friday. Thank you.
Awesome, Laura. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day teaching. All right. Pamela Bargman, thank you so much for being here. You want to tell everybody what state you're in and how we can help?
I'm in the state of Tennessee.
All right.
It may not be about notary, but has anyone ever proctor for smart proctoring? Because that's something I see a lot of the notaries are doing now.
Great question. And I don't know, anybody, is Smart Proctory a particular company, Pamela?
Yes,
Okay.
and I was just, I've, other notaries, they are using them as well. I was just wondering, has anyone here ever used them? I got approved for them, but I wanted to find out who gets the location where you're gonna proctor, them or you, and who pays for it. But if no one knows, I just have to keep digging.
That's a great question for the chat. I'm gonna leave that open. If anybody, actually, let's just open it up to us. Maybe not smart proctoring, it might be any type of proctoring. If you're involved in that and you've got some information that you can share for Pamela, will you add that to the chat for me? And maybe we can have that conversation on the side. It's not an endeavor I have tried yet. So Pamela, keep your eye on that chat, okay?
All right, thank you.
You got it. Thanks for being here. Hey, Melissa.
Hi, I was thinking of the estate planning marketing also. I see a lot of advertisements in my area for seminars of that. So do you recommend going to the seminars? And if you do, how would you approach them and wanting to collaborate?
What a great question, Melissa. Yeah, I love those. You'll often see the invitations come through, and they're nice at nice steakhouses. Sometimes it includes a 3-course meal, and you'll see a presentation about probably the difference between a living trust and a last will and testament. That's usually what the presentation's about, and the value of having your affairs in order, right? And those are free to attend. Now, remember, you want to keep in mind that the attorney or the legal company who's putting that on is looking for customers. So they are investing probably thousands of dollars per event. So you don't necessarily want to be hopping around willy-nilly, I guess. Get really strategic about it because you don't want to waste their money. But if you have it, if they send you an invite, I encourage you to at least go to one of them. Get a feel for it. Do not pitch at the event. Cultivate a relationship, because there's a couple different ways I think this can work. Is first, you need the service yourself. Like, let's just be real here with all of us. We all need to have our affairs in order, whether that's through a last will and testament or a living trust, whatever. We need somebody who can give us that kind of advice. And if you don't necessarily see the value in that or disagree with that, then you're probably going to have a client or a friend of a client or a neighbor or a family member who's going to need a referral. And the fastest way to get your foot in the door to an attorney or anyone is to bring them customers. So you're cultivating your referral network. And the reason I share that is that conversation is often easier than, hey, how can we do some business together? It might be, I'm expanding my referral network. I constantly hear my customers talking about needing an attorney. Can we sit down for 15 minutes and have a conversation about that? And you can find out if you're a good fit there. It's a, who's Mark Allen Grollo actually calls it a chemistry meeting, just to see if you've got good chemistry and if they want, it could be a referral partner. And then you add them to your referral list that we talk about in NVB all the time, right? People are on social media are always posting, does anybody have a good attorney? Does anybody have a good car salesman? Whatever it might be, if you can be that resource, you're going to enhance the value of your network, your value to your network, and then let it grow organically. Maybe he will say, well, I actually have customers that need a notary. I usually just tell them to go online. Can I just send them to you? That question that's how it usually unfolds. But when you're trying to bring value to them first, it changes the entire dynamic of the conversation.
One of the things is, okay, let's say beforehand, if you were able to talk to somebody, could you offer like volunteer to help them do something at the event?
Yeah, so here's like, I try to think.
I don't mean notarizing. Right? I don't mean notarizing, just like
just manning the booth or help filling the chip jar, whatever it is, right? I think if you have some kind of relationship, then yes, absolutely. If you do that cold, it might come off odd and they don't know what they're going to get. And here's what I learned as I'm continuing my cultivation with attorneys is they're very particular, very aware, let's just say very aware of how they are being represented. Like they're very image conscious, right? So they're looking for, they respond well to profile pictures. They want to have a conversation on phone in person or on Zoom. They want to see how you're going to represent them. If you're going to work with any of their customers or potential customers, they're going to want to know that you know the language, you can dance around it, you've got a smile on your face, and you're not going to tarnish their reputation in any way. So I think you have to honor that and let it grow into it. I am learning that some of these guys are super cool, and then some of them are not who I want to work with, and that's totally okay. We can't work with everybody, you know, we can't be in two places at the same time. So it kind of having that chemistry meeting or those conversations helps you weed those out. Awesome. I'm glad you're thinking about that. Guys, it is time. I'm sorry, we got to wrap up here, but I also want to just throw out there really quick. Guys, Diana had mentioned in the chat earlier, the Notary Funnel Challenge is a 150-day challenge that you can register for completely free. And I send you an email every single day of one small thing that you can do to advance your business to the next level. If you want to move the needle, if you wake up and some days you're like, oh, I'm not quite sure what I want to do in my business, this challenge will open your mind, expand your horizons a little bit. It's not beginner level, but you can register for that at notarycoach.com/funnel. Also, based on the feedback I've received from that email challenge, I have turned that into a book, also a 90-day challenge book. So you can flip through and just pick the challenges you want to do. And that will be released probably here in the next couple of weeks. Thank you to our team at Notary Business Builder who are going to be part of the launch team for that too. Guys, if you haven't explored NBB yet, it is really an awesome mastermind, an amazing group of people who are coming together to support each other in this industry. Check that out at notarycoach.com/NBB fresh. Thank you guys. Have a great week. See ya. Thanks for growing yourself and your business on a Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.